All right, here we are with the guest spotlight. We are here with Josh Van Pelt, who, welcome to the show, Josh. Not only are you a Masters of the Universe master, but he's also was on Toys That Made Us. I found that out today. So he's the most famous person in this group, which makes me insanely jealous. But that's okay. We still love you. I just love you a little less. Josh, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Cool. We are going to talk about Masters of the Universe because, as we promised, this is not going to be a Star Wars only show. So here's the thing: if you're watching, you can see that I have a wall of Star Wars behind me. If you've seen that, you know that Anthony and I specifically, and Ross to some extent, are Star Wars collectors, but we are branching out and bringing on people.
Masters of the Universe.
Okay, you have
Masters
like two. Okay, I've got one
Masters
too, Ross.
of the
That's not.
Universe.
You can't just have one and say
It's
you're
on the
a collector.
on the wall. Look behind me. 3 Masters of the Universe.
I can touch mine. It doesn't change the fact that, like, you know.
Actually, before we all went on, I was chatting alone with Josh. And do you have the special double amputee Skeletor variants that I have?
Oh,
Whoa.
Only a bone doctor would have something like that. That's, you know.
Dude, what kind of twisted stuff do you do to your action figures, Anthony? Well, like, you know, like burning ants. You're burning ants and breaking apart your action figures.
He was trying out for Sopranos too. All you New Jersey boys out there that.
So apparently you can fix this. Josh told me. I got this from my parents like this. I don't know what they were doing with it, but.
But spoiler alert: if you do fix it, you can never get it graded. So keep that in mind. Anyhow, Josh, sorry that the show will get out of hand, unfortunately. But so we have Josh on because not only do we want to know more about Masters of the Universe, but Josh did a spectacular job with his CAS 101 video, talking about the series, the first wave of Masters of the Universe figures, the 8-backs. In fact, he took. This is where I become even more jealous. He took my 101 concept and did it with a lot more calm and finesse, and it just came out wonderful. I'm like, crap, I got to go back and do mine over again. So thanks a lot, Josh. I really appreciate the fact that you've written 101s for me. But also,
you set the bar really high, so I planned and over-planned. I had my kids help me. I filmed every single segment separate. I really stressed over it. So
look,
it was outstanding.
I'll say I'm a fanboy of Masters, and I'm a fanboy of Josh Van Pelt. It was really unbelievable. It was one I was very much looking forward to. It was professionally done. You really knocked it out of the park. I think it's way better than any of the ones that Chris did, for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I'm bowing to the master here. It's the thing. So
I'm definitely gonna third that.
So if I wasn't so cheap, you'd have to fire me at this point in time. I mean, really, I bring nothing to the table anymore. So
we're stuck with you, unfortunately.
Darn it.
No, fortunately, we love you.
So Josh did this amazing video, and I know, Ross, you're a Masters fan. Anthony, did you had obviously your you killed a Skeletor, so it makes you a master of some universe.
I think it's just wear and tear, age, but I definitely collected as a kid. Here's my battle action HeMan from my childhood right there.
All right, so you did have
battle armor. Battle armor.
Sorry. Where's battle action from? That's Thundercats probably, right? Battle action. What's battle action?
I don't want to play with any battle action toys. No.
Yeah, so it sounds like it's been
battle armor. Excuse me, battle armor.
But so Josh did this video, and it was well done. And what I ended up doing while I was watching it is, because I was a HeMan collector as well, a child playing with him, and I had pretty much all of them as a kid. Is, to me, a whole bunch of questions were coming to mind that, of course, would never be covered by a 101 video, in the sense that you were talking about mint on card figures, and so there was a lot of sort of, let's say, foundation stuff that I kind of wanted to cover a little bit. So sort of like a prequel to the 101 video, if you will. Right. So I sent you a list of questions, and maybe some of the other guys actually know some of these too, but I want to kind of start there. So Masters of the Universe came out in 1981, started with 8 figures, and went until 1987. And so how many figures? And I know this is a loaded question, but if I say how many? Well, because same thing with Star Wars, right? If you say, well, how many figures? Well, there's a 92 back. Well, yeah, but there's at least 96, and there's like 114. Okay, so if you're gonna just kind of ballpark it, like if somebody was gonna try to say how many figures are in the entire original run, including the movies, all the red back stuff until they switched stuff, how many are in that? And then why would there be more than one answer to that question?
So I guess all of my answers are going to be about the U.S. releases.
Sure.
Just to keep it simple.
Right.
So 68, like 5.5-inch regular figures were released in the vintage line.
Okay.
But overseas, there were 2 additional figures plus the 2 giants. So
what were those 2 additional figures?
What's that?
What were those 2 additional figures? I'm just trying to.
Laser Power HeMan and Laser Light Skeletor.
All right.
Yeah. And those were battery operated figures, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And then the giants.
Giants, Titus and Megator.
This is news to me. So what are those?
They are about 12-inch, giant action figures, fully posable, just like a regular 5.5-inch, but they were the giants.
So they were meant to sort of be to scale to the rest of the line, but they were just larger.
Exactly.
And where were they released?
You could get them in Europe, so you find a lot in Italy.
Okay.
Yep.
Were the Laser Power Skeletor and HeMan, were those exclusive to Italy, or maybe Spain as well?
Spain. Yep. And Spain had the true original HeMan head versus the other head in Italy.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Which head do you like more?
I like the one from Spain.
All right.
Hold
on, that's the original one. That's the original one, or that's the
original one. Yeah.
The original one. Yeah. The different one they came out with always looks strange to me.
Yeah, I like that 1981 mold head. You can't get better than that. It's perfection. Yep.
Why were giants not released domestically?
I'm probably telling a lot of backstory you might not want to hear, but
no, it's kind of the point of the show, so go for
it. Years ago, I had met Roger Sweet, who was a brand manager for Masters of the Universe early on. He wrote a book. I flew out to his house, met him for a few days, and he actually had a proof card for a U.S. boxed Titus. So it was all in English. It was going to come out in the U.S. It's just that budget-wise, the line was just ended in 1987 before it could come out. So he actually had a Mexico-produced Titus test shot that was going to be the one that was going to be made for the U.S. market, and the English-only box.
Huh.
Yep.
That's cool.
So wow. It got really far. It was supposed to come out in the U.S. It's just that Mattel, the sales dropped off from 400 million in 1986 to like whatever it was, 7 million in 1987.
I blame Dolph Lundgren for that. Really, there's just really nobody else.
It was dying before that.
Oh,
there you go.
So Josh, you said 68 figures were in the run. Does that include the Princess of Power stuff?
No, not at all.
Okay, now does it include the Hordak and them?
Yes. So the Horde were actually Princess of Power filmation characters. However, they were considered boys' toys by Mattel, so they were released in the He-Man cards.
Okay. Yeah, it's always something that kind of confused me because it didn't confuse me, but Hordak was actually kind of and I like the Horde, I like Grizzlor, I like a lot of those characters, but it was very, very interesting that they were on Masters packaging, but they were on the She-Ra TV show.
Even as a kid, I remember you'd watch He-Man and She-Ra back to back.
Right.
It really didn't feel like they were 2 separate cartoons to me. Like they existed in the same world anyway, so it wasn't odd.
Yeah,
I forgot. Are they brother and sister? Were they like a thing? I can't. Brother and sister.
They're twins.
Yeah, that's right. So they're not a thing.
No.
Well, in the way Luke and Leia may have been. I mean, I'm sure that they probably, sometimes where you're out on the field and battle and stuff. Who knows? I mean, we're not going to judge. To each their own.
Josh, I got a quick question. So one of the points that they made on the Toys That Made Us was that She-Ra and that line may have had some negative impact on Masters of the Universe because there was the theory that if you had a younger sister who got interested in She-Ra and your little sister had the power, it was no longer interesting to you. You thought you needed to move on. Is there any truth to that?
I don't buy that. Nope. I don't buy that at all. No, I don't believe that at all. I had a younger sister. Who was younger than I was. I was more into She-Ra than she was.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I had a sister. She had She-Ra and I had He-Man, and we would play together. So
Yep.
what I think they always try to come up with these magic formulas as to why these lines end, and it's kids, and if you've had any of those, your attention
Yep.
span are like 8
Exactly.
seconds.
It's a cycle. Yep.
Yeah, I just I think they ended because kids moved on. I mean,
Mhm.
Turtles, like, you were starting to come out, Ghostbusters, there were new things. I mean, and it had a hell of a run.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it can't go on forever.
Let's still had a run. I mean, one thing I'd be interested in: why do you think it's still popular? Right? I mean, Star Wars had staying power because of all the movies and things continued, but there's not a lot of properties related to Masters that have continued, but it's continued to have staying power. Why?
Staying
Why do you
power
think that?
without any real support
Right.
from Mattel for years and years?
Yeah.
No
Well,
movie since 1987.
Right.
It's amazing. It's just the fan base.
And people seem to buy, like, everything that they release in Masters, and I know this is me painting it a really broad brush, but everything they release in Masters all looks exactly the same.
Because they have there's no new cartoons to base it on. There was, the 2000X, and they got all happy, and the Four Horsemen were able to make new figures finally. But Classics was just a rehash of all the old styles. There was nothing they were basing that on.
Haven't there been discussions of a movie that's coming out any day now for like the last 10 years?
Until you see the first dailies, don't believe any news.
Right. Isn't that like it's like a recurring theme? Like, well, the new Masters movie, Sony picked it up, or MGM picked it up, or can I interrupt the flow? I know Chris is gonna get annoyed that he's probably got like an order. You know what we did, by the way? You didn't.
List.
I know you didn't warm up the oven. We didn't preheat the oven. You just went right into it. Right. I don't think we introduced our guest at all, or found out about him, or what he collected. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that? Can we do that?
Nice job, Chris.
Right?
I mean,
right?
I did
You don't
say.
care, do you not care about Josh Van Pelt? You're only using him for his Masters of the Universe.
I said
knowledge?
his name. I mean, I introduced who he was. I mean, like, what's your favorite color, Josh? We all want to know.
You said you could find me on a different channel on a different show.
I just want to. The one thing I want before we jump into it, we got to preheat the oven a little bit, right? Josh, I know you collect a lot of stuff, but maybe tell everyone what you collect, right? What your focus is.
My focus is almost 100% Masters of the Universe vintage.
I feel like you collect a lot, though. Don't you collect cards and things like that too?
I thought we were talking about. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about toys. Yes, I also collect sports cards and non-sports cards.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Then I just made it weird. Okay.
But
I'm gonna crawl.
All these Boglins are actually my son's. I guess I got him into collecting, and he started collecting vintage Boglins.
The torch has been passed.
Yep.
So it's exclusively Masters for the toys.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
all right.
I'll pick up Star Wars here and there that I like, but as a true like collector, as I see like Masters, there's nothing else I'd even try to go down that road.
Hey, Josh, if you want to, because I saw an episode, if you want to plug your son's YouTube channel. No, I think it's great. Definitely.
Yeah, so he's 11 years old. He calls himself Joe Boglinski for internet reasons.
Nice.
And he has a YouTube channel called Boglin Hotel.
Nice.
I'm gonna check it out.
Very cool.
And we'll put a link to it in the description.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, what about one more plug for you? Why don't you talk about the Power and Honor Foundation? Did I say that right?
Yes, absolutely. Starting in around the year 2000, I started collecting vintage He-Man prototypes and artwork and such. And in 2010, I co-founded the Power and the Honor Foundation. It's a nonprofit 501c3 public charity that is its mission is to preserve and share the history of He-Man.
It's great, and you produced at least one book that I'm right.
So officially, we put out one catalog. Called Catalog Volume 1, The Art of the Masters of the Universe. But since then, we've collaborated with Dark Horse on some of their art books and other books. We've worked with Super 7. We provided the card back layouts and the artwork for the backs of their retro style figures.
Really?
We've put out Earl Norm prints through Super 7. We've done 3 artist portfolios, all licensed. So it's been a fun run.
So do you have a lot of original artwork? Is that where this all sort of stems from?
Yes.
You say that hesitantly. Like, did you steal it? I mean, do we need to...
No, I
Dumpster dive.
I fell into my first large purchase with Roger Sweet. I visited him I went out and saw him. He had tons of artwork, not just his artwork, but when Mattel actually moved their location from one spot in Los Angeles to another, there was an old building called the Morgue where all the old artwork and prototypes would sit. And if any marketing or engineers or artists needed anything, they would just go in, steal stuff, repurpose it. Well, when they moved, Mattel, in their infinite wisdom, said, we don't want any of this old stuff.
Oh my
If it's yours, go get it. And Roger had the foresight to go in and grab tons of the Masters of the Universe stuff that he had worked on.
Wow.
And he didn't even take all that he could. He just, picked and choose, what he wanted. So when I went out and saw him, he was interested in selling everything. So over the course of 6 months, we finally negotiated upon a price that we were both happy with. And I bought, I think there were over 125 original concept art paintings and production paintings.
Wow.
Plus over about 300 previously unseen, like Mattel archive prints. So it was artwork. It's not the original, but at least it was artwork that we could preserve and share.
Internal copies and
Right.
stuff. So, like, is this the artwork that's on the back of the card backs, or are these comic books, or a
No.
little bit of both?
So this is mostly concept art, and it was almost everything that we received from Roger is in our first catalog. So everything that's in that catalog, volume 1 from the Power and the Honor Foundation, I scanned in and allowed the foundation to use all that artwork.
Wow.
But it's mostly concept art. There's a few pieces that were very close to production, and then there were some proof sheets and a few prototypes. I don't think I have any up here, but there were a few prototypes, including that Vicor painted by Tony Guerrero.
Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Vicor was like the sort of the prototype for He-Man, right?
Right.
The one
He was
they
that
show with
barbarian,
with
big-chested muscle man.
the one they show with the Boba Fett head and the tank man. Or whatever.
Actually, this is right. This is separate from those.
Oh, okay.
Those original 3 don't exist. Those prototypes, but
Okay.
those pictures are what I got from Roger's suite.
Gotcha.
Right.
Wow.
But that was Roger just kit bashing real fast. Took some big Jim figures. Took some Star Wars Boba Fett helmet, and his idea was just that this line could be anything. It could be military. It could be fantasy. It's warrior, sci-fi, everything.
And it really kind of ended up being like that, which is kind of
did.
cool.
Yeah.
So okay, well, let's get back to our
Back
regular.
to the nerdy questions. Back to the nerdy questions.
Sorry, Ross. I mean,
I had to say it.
someone was trying to take the lead
true.
here, but whatever.
Right. Or
So,
you
okay.
you actually prepared for the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't watching the Yankees game, So
Right.
anyhow, all right. So
Not
so
nothing. Saying.
okay, good for you. I mean, doing work around here, but okay, whatever. So all right. So you start off with 8-backs, right?
Yep.
But what I've noticed is that unlike so I'm a Star Wars guy, and Star Wars was cumulative. So as the line grew, the card backs grew they went up in numbers. So you had your 12, 20, 21, 32, 41, 45, and so on and so on. That's not how Masters of the Universe did it. So how do you guys classify your card backs?
They stop at 12.
But
Really?
but there's not always. So sometimes there's
Right.
3. Sometimes there's
right. So you have your 8-backs, and then pretty much everything after that is considered a 12-back. Even though there's different waves, or if you go by years, but pretty much that design is pretty standard. There's different cross-sell art on the back,
right.
but that layout from after the 8-back series is
That's a
pretty standard.
9-back. I mean, you is it that you
Right.
guys don't know how to count?
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure it out. It's,
No, they're
Be nice, Chris. Come on.
I don't know. Okay,
Hey, what do
really,
you mean by
Anthony?
you guys. What is that supposed to mean? You
Right.
guys.
So-
You guys.
guys.
right. So depending on the figure and where or when it was released, yes, there are some variations where you do have 9-backs in the 12-back series. But I'll do a separate video on 12-backs for you. So
Okay.
I'll let
you
I'll lay
will.
it all out so that we can
Told-
see.
I told Josh
what are
as many
12-backs.
videos as he would like to do because they're awesome.
Yes.
Right. So we really don't do like you said, like Star Wars is, that's a 65-back or that's a 92-back. That's not really how Masters of the Universe
Set up.
set up at all. The cards are pretty standard. in that the red fronts, and on the back it has Errol McCarthy art almost 90% of the time across the top, and even the action art on the side.
Okay.
And then there's cross-sell art, and the cross-sell art was swapped out depending on the series and the figure. And those were done by various artists. I think William George even started doing some of the cross-sell art starting in like 1985.
Okay.
So the way we actually, or at least I do, I don't know if all collectors do it this way, but you sort of look at, there's 8 backs and then there's everything else. So then you have your 12 backs, but then there's the front of the cards actually have very key differences for certain figures, because then you have the new symbol, but then there's different new symbols even. And then you have ones without the new symbol, or for HeMan, it might say the original next to it.
Okay.
So it's very unique. So it's not necessarily that you would, you don't really see too many collectors saying like, there's like 32 back or 65 back Star Wars collectors, or 21 back or 12 back.
Right.
For Masters of the Universe, there's definitely 8 back collectors.
And then everything else.
I don't know of anyone else that has like a very specific focus of like, I only collect 12 backs with this font new on it. We don't really go with the card backs as much as like Star Wars or other lines.
Do you find a lot of focus collectors? Right, there's a lot of focus collectors in Star Wars. They'll focus on one character and get every card back or every variation, whatever. Do you see that in Masters?
There's definitely some people that hoard certain figures,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't necessarily go for the run. So in Star Wars, people will go for that cool run of those.
Right.
You really don't. I don't see that as much in Masters of the Universe.
Interesting.
Maybe because they're a little cheaper, or they used to be a little cheaper.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But they used to be cheaper, so you could really buy one of every carded figure until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's spoiler because there isn't any Masters of the Universe in this upcoming Investors Corner, but like last month it was. I mean, we had Michael Havens on, and he was like, I can't believe what Masters sells for, and it was way more than Star Wars stuff.
Dwarfing Star Wars.
Yeah. It was. It's really.
It was clear 8 backs, clear bubble 8 backs, clear bubble Skeletor 8 back was like 8-9 grand.
Oh, yeah, or even higher. If you get test market, HeMan and Skeletors, you're double.
The Man at Arms with the red
red dot.
The red dot.
So it was very, very fascinating how that market has flexed. And I mean, there are some affordable characters, but you're not really getting anything for under $100 anymore.
Nope.
No, I mean, it's
all these cases behind me. Oh, were full when I purchased them years ago.
Holy cow!
For less than $8 a figure.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
Well, what happened to all those figures?
Sold them over the years for a lot less
than they're worth now.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, so it's really interesting, I guess, that like it's not linear collecting, and it's one of the things that I really think is a positive aspect of this podcast in general, is the fact that being a Star Wars person, I see things in certain ways, and that's not how every market is, and so that's very fascinating to me. That okay, so now let's look at a character that premiered on 8 back like HeMan.
Mm-hmm.
Was HeMan available on other backs? And was he available through the entire run?
So HeMan, the original HeMan was available on the 8 backs, and then transitioned to the 12 backs. And then there's a period where he wasn't available, but then he did come back and they put the original on it.
Okay.
So yes, he was available at various times,
but not always at once.
Not regularly. But he was also included in some gift sets.
Okay.
So they still stuck him in there.
So I was just, while I'm multitasking, I was just looking at my CAS labels online. We were talking. So CAS actually designates, again, so we talked about the 8 backs, 12 backs, 9 backs, whatever. Different series. Series 1, Series 2, Series 3. Have you heard them designated that way?
Yeah, absolutely. There's the 6 series. You have the 6 series in CAS, I assume?
The 6 series? What do you mean?
Or no, I mean like
1 through 6.
Is that how you?
I was just looking at the labels on my online account for a few. So like I'm looking at Mossman. Mossman is 1985, designated Series 4.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, my Real Blast is Series 5. So.
Yep. And so Series 5 is technically 1986, and then Series 6 is 1987.
And that's like the movie release stuff.
Well, no. So 87 was Sorceress, King Randor, Clamchamp, the second Faker, Scareglow, Snakeface, Buzzoff.
There was a
and
second
then
Faker.
What's that?
There was a second Faker, like a.
Yeah, there's Faker too. I don't.
Well, so that's interesting about the Faker, which I think, if I recall, you covered in the 8-backs, right?
Well,
Not the second one.
No, I only.
Did you not cover the original Faker on 8-backs?
Yeah, is it the fake?
Yeah,
The fake 8-pack.
right?
Right,
Yeah.
There is a Faker on an 8-back card.
Yeah.
But then there's a 12-back Faker, and then there's so.
What's
it's
Faker
both.
2? Like, how, I guess I never heard of Faker 2.
Yeah, no, I guess his popularity just caused him to come back.
Well, was he
and
any different than Faker 1?
Yeah,
I mean,
there's soft head versus hard head. The sticker. There's differences. So you can tell if you have like an 8-back early Faker or if you have Faker 2 with a hard head.
So hold on, should we be organizing your videos by Series 1, Series 2, Series 3 versus?
So
I'm just saying.
yes.
there is a possibility for that. However, the cases behind me are solid packs. So
Okay.
HeMan figures were available to distributors as solid packs of 12. So like this one had 12 Mossman, that one had 12 Hordak, that one had 12 HeMan, original HeMans. But they also were available in 24 pack assortments. I've opened up 24 boxed ones that have a mix of series.
Okay.
So, like there was like the 8-backs where there were transitions and it wasn't linear. Their release schedule, I don't believe, was 100%, like very cut clear. Like Series 5 came out on this date and was shipped between this and this. Like there was so many factories were producing stuff. I know I'm getting to another question of yours.
Yeah,
Chris,
no,
but,
that's fine.
so many factories. They made so many HeMan figures that they were being made in Malaysia, Taiwan, Hong Kong / China, in Mexico for the U.S. market. So there is so much overlap of what characters were in, technically we still call it Series 5, but, Series 5 and 6 may have overlapped in shipping.
But theoretically, though, so like in 1982,
Yep.
there were no Series 5.
Correct.
So I guess and that's where I guess for me trying to square peg round hole, trying to just say, look, if you're, because I want to organize this for somebody, I don't know,
Right.
and the series seems to make sense to me because even if there were cases with 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5 weren't out, and then the 3 wasn't available until they released them, so that makes sense to me, even though because I mean, so with it's gonna always go back to Star Wars. I'm sorry, but they would just release the original Luke just on different backs.
Right.
They just and they didn't necessarily do that with like He-Man, so he may not have been available on the Series 5 back.
Right.
But he was available in that case assortment.
Correct. Right.
Okay.
So.
But does Series 5 have one back, or there was multiple backs in Series 5?
Well, every back is different because every back card has the original art and different cross sell. So every card back is different.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying.
So like you said, I have it broken down. I do it by year.
Okay.
So I have the figures that came out in 82, the figures that came out in 83, but they coincide with the series, so we could do it that way as well.
I like it.
I vote
for
series.
Month. I think you should do month. Each month of release from 82 to 87. You could do 89 videos.
And have a centerfold for July, right? That's how it's got to be. Tila, Evil Lynn, Sorceress. That's got to be how it's going to work.
I've always liked Evil Lynn.
See?
She's nasty.
You're a walk on the wild side kind of guy.
She's nasty. I am. I am.
All right. So I guess now when a new He-Man would come out, so what's it? Battle Armor He-Man,
right?
Battle Action He-Man.
Action.
So
when they came out with different revisions of He-Man and Skeletor, so I'm going to get it wrong again, but the Battle Action, Battle Armor, Battle what? Battle Armor He-Man, and on all those, did they discontinue? Yes, that you know what that reminds me. Remember, so Mattel actually used that.
I'm going to say that it does. I'm going to say that this does not work. Still, it does not.
What about this chest? Does this chest? Can you hit it and it gets damaged?
I think so. Let's see. I'm going to reset it. Oh no, it's not. It's pushed in.
No.
You abuse your toys.
I know.
You're so abusive.
All right. So when they came out,
why would you say that, Ross? What would?
when they came out with the battle armor He-Man and the battle armor Skeletor, did they discontinue the other ones, or did they kind of continue them in the mix?
No, so like I said, there's different things. So when you look at the vintage Mattel catalogs, they'll show you like case assortments. So you'll see that Battle Armor He-Man is in this assortment that you could purchase. But usually He-Man and Skeletor could still be purchased in the straight 12 cases.
Okay, so
I don't know like what their availability always was, or if they only shipped them, here or there. But it seems that they did not ship them in the same cases, as far as I see.
Okay, so they could actually be on shelves at the same time, depending on how the store was selling things. But like, if you got a fresh case, you're going to either get a standard He-Man or a battle armor He-Man, but not both.
Right. You would not, as far as I could tell, you would never see a regular He-Man in the same case with one of those, Flying Fist He-Mans, Battle Armor He-Man.
Okay, interesting. So they didn't discontinue them then. So, okay, now when they came out, so did He-Man exist on a 12-back, or was it always 8?
No.
Okay. Okay. So they were around. All right. So as far as Master of the Universe Grails, like, so both loose and carded. I know that you had mentioned in the 8-back line that there's obviously the what do you call it, the samples that may have went around, the early versions of the but like, what are the ones that, what's a vinyl cape Jawa kind of?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on the soapbox to begin with, though. I apologize. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the word Grail. It's used for things that are easily attainable. Just because you want it bad doesn't make it a Grail.
All right.
I agree.
Chris.
As a collector,
Wow,
Chris.
I quit.
Grails are things that you should be, as a collector, always chasing.
Right.
And you should be okay with never getting it. Like,
and you throw down the parking lot if you see somebody else that has it. I get it. Like, you literally go to the mattresses for it. I get it.
Yep. So that being said, though, obviously there's tons of really rare stuff. The test market, 8-backs, like you had said, gift sets really took off. One thing I really like about the gift sets is that longevity wise, I feel that they're going to last a lot longer than a carded figure, because they don't have that fragile bubble. You don't have to worry as much about the figure falling. There's just so many things that can go wrong on a card. Whereas if you're in a box,
what's a gift set, Josh? Because I don't know what it is. What's a gift set? It came in a box, usually with like a cellophane window, and it would have like Stridor the horse and He-Man, or actually it was Fisto and Stridor, but or
of course we all know that.
One of the really rare ones would be like Flying Fist He-Man and Terraclaw Skeletor, or He-Man with Jet Sled. There's some really, really rare gift sets that.
And those are sold in stores.
Yeah, they were sold in stores,
yeah.
And they are like full color box art gift sets. These are not the brown box gift sets that you would buy through like JCPenney's or Sears catalog. These are ones that were made to put on the store shelf so that a kid would say, "Oh, I want that," and Mattel is selling a figure and a vehicle at the same time.
So not necessarily a catalog kind of thing.
No, these are not the brown box catalog ones.
Okay.
What about those? What are the rarity on the brown box catalog ones, which I've started to collect quite heavily?
I know. I tried, but I failed miserably. So
I never got that box from you, by the way.
Which one?
Did I get a box from you?
No,
we were talking about one of the boxes.
They were empty.
Yeah, right.
No.
You got swindled.
You turned me down. You didn't want them.
Broke his heart because he couldn't dance.
There's definitely rare brown boxed ones.
Yeah.
Some of the catalogs, they didn't even put names or pictures on them. They were just literally just numbers. So you have to look up the number and see what figures are inside. Like Ram Man and Zor is a common one, or
I have that one.
Screech.
I have that one. Yep.
You could get them X-rayed. Just gonna put that out there.
Oh yes, no, we can figure it out. I have.
I mean, CAS does things like that.
But the really
shameless
cool,
plug.
The really cool brown, brown boxes actually have the black and white like line art on it to show you the two figures, and inside are just two bagged figures.
Yep.
They don't go for even a fraction though of what
the gift sets.
The gift sets go for.
Yeah.
For those interested people, Ross actually did a collector's corner focusing on one of those, so maybe you want to look it up.
Indeed, I did.
So.
Indeed, I did. One of the department store 2-packs for sure. For
So-
sure. What would you say is the rarest gift set? Was
Oh.
it the Flying Fist He-Man?
So yeah, it's either the He-Man Jet Sled or the Flying Fist He-Man Turtle Skeletor. However, that's not the one I want the most. When I used to collect Top Toys He-Man very heavily a long time ago, I found a Wind Raider He-Man 2-pack. It was amazing because I had seen
Wow.
it in catalogs that the U.S. was going to have one, but I never actually saw one until Top Toys made it. When Mattel Archives had their eBay auctions years ago, they actually auctioned a few of them off
Wow.
in U.S. boxes,
Wow.
and I didn't buy one.
What, so what did they go for then, and what do you think it would sell for now?
Oh, back then they probably went for maybe $1,000. I'm guessing, but maybe $1,000
Okay, so still a lot for a He-Man in the time.
at the time. Yes, considering I probably paid less than $100 for my Top Toys Wind Raider He-Man
Okay.
2-pack.